Hey everybody, back in studio today. My guest, Ryan Nassif. How we doing?
Bro, thank you for having me.
Man.
It's my first podcast, so.
First of many.
First of many, hopefully.
First of many. Yes,
Yeah.
we went to school together, USC, fought on, Lambda.
Played on,
bro.
baby.
Bro, first time I saw you, you remember?
No, I don't remember.
I walk into the Lambda house, and I'm like, you're on the porch playing basketball, and I'm like,
I was mean out there.
Who's this Tim Riggins looking like?
Was that when my hair was hella long? It was
hella-
down here?
No, you were literally Tim Riggins.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
nah. But yeah.
That's a
man,
compliment. Tim Riggins is one of my
Tim
favorite
Riggins is
characters of all time.
He's
so.
a fucking stud.
He's a stud. Shout out Tim Riggins.
But yeah, bro, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me,
I
bro.
appreciate you, man. Yeah, so
Appreciate you. You brought the 12-year-old aged whiskey.
we did. Shout out to Steve.
Cheers
my
to that.
pops,
Thank
Steve
you, bro.
Novo. Hey, cheers.
Steve Novo, thank you.
Steve Novo, 12 year. None of that 6, none of that 8. We got that 12-year good shit in here.
Yes, we do. Thank you, bro.
So yeah, bro. Coming on here, I told people I was having you. And like, just to touch, we were kind of talking about this before the podcast, but I was like, they're like, oh, have you ever like sat and really talked to Nassif for an hour? I'm just like,
In like a negative way? It was like a negative thing?
No, it was like the weirdest energy. Like, and I feel like people like, you're just a polarizing dude.
Okay.
You know, like people feel some type of way, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it goes both ways, but yeah.
Yeah. But like you can't have one without the other kind of thing.
True.
I feel like.
True. Yeah, I mean, I think judgment is one of the main things that I deal with, that everyone deals with, especially in this day and age, like we were talking about earlier, like with social media.
Yeah.
Is like so many preconceived notions come along with that, you know?
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
And it's hard to really like show people what you're about, who you are, what you've been through, and what the like contents of your character actually are, you know? And like, people judge just off pictures or whatever they want to say. And that's something that I've been dealing with in every social group I've ever tried to acclimate in, you know? Like whether it be in high school or with Lambda at USC, or even like working at jobs, you know, internships, whatever it is. It's like you always have that judgment that you have to kind of leap over. And it was like that before social media, but social media just enhances it, you know. And it can be used in positive ways and negative ways, but I think in today's day and age, social media is not the best thing for creating relationships, because you do have so many preconceived notions of that person. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the worst thing.
It's probably the worst thing that social media has, right? It's because like and like I get like you want to like show like the highlights of your life on social media, right? Like people want to be like, yo, like I drive this car, I live in this place, I hang out with these people, and like that shit doesn't really matter, you know, at all.
And it's crazy too when you're hanging out with people specifically for that reason.
Yeah.
Like people have hella followers and you're like, okay, like I need to like get a picture up with them so then like they could post it with me, and then like, and it's just the craziest dynamic of like,
especially in this city. You feel me? Like this city is I love LA with all my heart. I've lived, born and raised, like every beautiful, amazing person I've ever met is from, you know, LA. I mean, obviously other places in the world too, but like growing up in LA was great. I love it. But there's so much toxicity that comes along with living here, you know, because so many people come from different areas for the wrong reasons in this, you know, vast, like LA is vast, bro. It's the biggest city. As far as I'm concerned, it's the biggest city in the world.
Huge. You need a car.
Yeah,
like,
you need a car. Yeah, you're I mean, you can Uber everywhere, I guess, but you're spending bands, so. Like, no, but like, so many people come here with ulterior motives, you know, and really for the wrong reasons.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean wrong reason when you're? I mean, I
like really just trying to
preconceived idea.
Yeah. Not just in me, but just like trying to chase what they think their self-worth should be about. Whether it's getting their followers and getting on YouTube channel, and like no negativity towards like actual influencers that do this shit for a living. Like I respect to them, they grind, but like trying to chase that fame. And this is a Hollywood, the city of angels. Like this is where stars are born, 100%. But like if you move here for the reasons just to like leave your past behind and start over and try and become a star, like
it's the worst place to do that.
I mean, that comes along with so much like cutthroat shit. Yeah. Like being not being yourself in order to get to a place where you think is like a glorified state of life. You know what I'm saying? No, and like, 100%. So whether that means going out to clubs every night and socializing, social climbing, or doing whatever comes along with that, it's not healthy. No. You know, and it stimulates this perpetual like cycle of just like trying to use people for your greater. And I know we're getting deep right off the bat, but like that's
no, it's what we're here.
That's what it's about, and that's why people like if they see that you have followers, they immediately categorize you in that group of people.
Yeah.
You know, like with like people that only care about their self-image and only care about, you know, putting out content that makes them seem like they're better than you.
And do you feel like you've been categorized like that? Because you got,
I mean,
my man got some followers.
I mean, I honestly think that the followers that I have now, like, are
how many you got?
Over 100,000. But in today's day and age, as far as I'm concerned, that's nothing. That's nothing. I know so many girls like from high school or whatever. They're just like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna show off my body now, and now I have 2 million followers. And like, no hate to them, but like people are doing whatever they can to make their social media presence so robust that they can be like, yo, I'm gonna monetize this shit and make money. And I respect that, because like they're doing that. They're doing that. They're trying to survive. They don't want to do a 9 to 5 and whatever job it is, and that's fine for them. Yeah. But like I said, where's the substance in that?
It just messes with your mental.
It messes with your mental, and it also and it also is like it's not rewarding in the end, I feel like. So like I mean I feel like back in 2012, 2011, when Instagram first started, like I mean, it was cool, it was exciting. You know, you had all these random people following you, and like I was like intoxicated by that feeling. It is. Honestly, it is very addicting to be like, yo, all these people care about me? Like, for real? 100%. Like, for what? Because I'm hanging out with these people? Because I'm friends with this? Because I dated her? Like, because I'm doing this shit? Like, and so what that does is it gives you a false sense of like, yo, I'm the shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so like, that can add to a negative mindset. That can add to a very like, it can, especially if you're a teenager just starting out in this shit, and like, you have no idea what the fuck this is going on. You're like, I'm in high school, but like, now I have 60,000 people liking my photos and commenting on my shit, and it gives people.
How'd you get there? Like, how did that even?
I don't even know. But I was the right time at the right place. Honestly, like, it started from Facebook. I remember being like in 8th, 9th grade, and people might laugh at this and shit, but like I remember like being in 8th, and I was with my friends. Like, one of my best friends back in the day was Roman Palumbo. Shout out Roman. And we would post pictures that I look back on now, and it's like very, very vain pictures of like selfies, whatever. And we get 1,000, like 1,200, 1,500 likes on Facebook and like 600 comments, and that was unheard of back then.
Wait, you said 12,000?
1,200. But on Facebook,
but still, that's
Facebook, this was before Instagram. So on Facebook, it was
20.
like crazy. Yeah, no. And so it kind of just snowballed into like some sort of celebrity, like localized celebrity status, which we never really asked for, but we were like, all right, we're getting this recognition, might as well like, I don't know. It was like high school. It was like, might as well capitalize. It was like popularity on steroids because social media was now in the mix. And
bro, that's crazy.
But that came with so much, I don't want to say speculation, but it came with so much like people had so much animosity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Towards like, oh, like what you're doing is, I mean, big words in high school, like you're gay, or like what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're so into yourself. And like looking back, like, yeah, that's true. Like when you get this false sense of recognition and admiration, you're like, yo, like this is intoxicating, like I said.
Bro, 100%.
But like at the same time, like people judge you off bat, and there's so many preconceived notions, and like they judge you in such negative ways. Yeah. And it's hard. It wasn't until I went on the retreat. My high school has this retreat, and a lot of Catholic schools in LA.
Kairos?
Kairos. Mm-hmm. You went on Kairos, right?
Yeah, of course.
And that should change my life. Yeah, it changed my life 100%. Mm-hmm. I have a tattoo right here that says, I am the sum of my experiences. And that is one of my favorite quotes from one of my talks that I gave at Kairos. And like, that was the first time I could let all my walls down and take off my mask and be like, yo, this is me. Like, this is what I've been through. This is who I am. Like, I understand that social media puts up a front, you know, and makes you put on masks online and offline. And I just want to connect. Like, I just want to connect with people. And then after that is when I really, you know, connected with all these people I went to high school with for 4 years that looked at me as like, oh, Nassif thinks he's way better than us because he has followers. Like, and now at the end of the day, like everyone has 100,000 followers. It's not anything. That's why I'm like, I retreated from that. I don't want to be like, oh, you have 100,000 followers. Like, you can start a fucking business tomorrow and like have a bunch of shout outs and get 100,000. It's not back then. There was not a lot of people on Instagram.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now there's, I don't know, how many billion users on Instagram? Like,
yeah. And so Kairos made you take that step back?
Kairos made me realize how important it is not to judge people. Because I myself, of course, have judged people straight off bat, whatever, even still on social media or in person, if like someone's appearance. Judgment is the most toxic thing you can have and do and put on someone else, because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what their day's like. You don't know what they woke up to. You don't know what's happening in their life. And that's something that our generation knows to do so much because of social media. Yeah. Not saying judgment wasn't apparent before that. It absolutely was.
But you used to be able to get away from it.
Yeah.
And like now it's just,
or you would have a clean slate.
Just flip your phone open and it's like,
okay, I'm gonna flip his phone open. If I see something that I don't like, my brain's gonna go crazy with what this person is, who they are, and what their values are. Yeah. And that's why I think it's a detriment to personal growth, to anything in the realm of trying to prove yourself, right? Because and it goes like with people applying for jobs, they have to change their names and shit on Facebook just so they can add more professional. They don't want anything to roll them, which is like I understand that. Yeah. But it's like it's such an extra thing, and it makes everyone have so many masks on, and like not even to get really into it, but like the generation coming after us. I mean, what is the generation called? Generation X or something?
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
They're that. Yeah.
My cousins are Gen Z, and like the fact that you're inside all day on your phone thinking about what picture you can post to get the most likes and most comments and to be recognized by your friends or your friends is sad, and it hurts my heart to see kids that age valuing something so meaningless. You know what I mean?
So factual,
and gives them like a false sense of hope. Like I can be someone because I have this many followers. How do I get this many followers? That's bullshit. It's so bullshit, and it makes me sad because that's what social media now is today. It's self-worth, and those two are connected, which it definitely shouldn't be, and it's ruining a lot of people's lives, I think. But then again, like we said before, like social media does have benefits, but I think that there's a lot of detriment to, really, but social media can be used in very positive ways. So don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
I'd say it's like 95% bad, to be honest. But there's 5% where you're like, oh, like my homie did this, like that's sick, Yeah. But like when you start seeing people that are like 22 flexing a boat, and you're like,
I know. Like, have you heard about there's like companies in Europe that you can pay, like influencers will pay to take pictures in the private jets, like get in the seat.
No, that's a great business model though.
It is genius.
Because people would pay.
Dude, taking advantage of people's vanity is one of the best ways to the best like emerging markets, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a smart way to make a quick buck. And you're taking advantage of people's insecurities, because people are doing that because they're insecure. And we've all done this. We all flex on whether it's subtle or blatant. Like you do that because we're all wearing masks, and it's not until you recognize that to where you can start taking off your masks. You know what I'm saying?
So how have you been working to take that off? Because even me, bro, sometimes I'll be like, I'll catch myself. I'll be like, oh, I'm posting this story because like maybe people will think I'm doing something fun, and I'm like,
no, it's hard.
Why am I doing that? Like. It's crazy.
It's hard to avoid. I will say it's not easy to avoid that, especially because every single person around you is trying to do it. Yeah. But there are people that aren't. Like my girl who I've literally been dating, upwards of almost 3 years. Yeah. Which I keep that side of my life very private. Just for.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. That's the way I am. Okay. Any person I've ever been involved with or dated, I like to keep it private. I don't know why. I know there are people like that. Yeah. But something about social media, it just freaks me out. I don't know. I like to keep that side of my life private. But anyways, she like doesn't post anything on Instagram and like deletes it off her phone for weeks at a time. And I think that's the way to go about it.
That's so healthy.
You know what I mean?
I didn't even know you had a girl.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
No, that is the way, bro. Because sometimes I'll just delete my app for a week. But like since I started this, I had I got to be out.
No, this is how you promote it. Yeah.
Exactly. But like. I was just so much more. You're just so much more present, bro. Like you're just in present time. Like you're having a good time with people you're having a good time with, and like you're not thinking about, oh, I gotta get like a cool picture so people will think I'm having a good time and like like me.
You're so right, because being present is like the number one thing that we all need. Mm-hmm. Being present and having that sense of clarity is so important, and it's so hard to come by. But that's why like. I've been promoting this book on my Instagram just because that's the best way to communicate with everyone around me in my life. A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. You guys should all get that book today and read it. Mm-hmm. It helps with.
He's a good author,
bro. He's so sick.
Things by him.
And it's all about being present and how to attain, that sense of presence, and how like in the grand scheme of things, like we all die, not to get all cynical and shit, but we
Let's
all
go.
die. And then our followers aren't going to matter.
Nah.
It's all about day to day and staying in the present right now. I'm here with you. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
If I'm thinking about what I have to do tomorrow or what I did yesterday that I regret, I'm wasting time. I'm not being present, because at the end of the day, our life is just a culmination of present moments. Mm-hmm. And you look back on things, you're like, wow, that was like really sick. And you can do that. But if you stay in the present and you ground yourself with that, you'll be so much happier. Anxiety will be relieved. Depression will be relieved. And I know you meditate, right?
Yeah.
Like you're a meditator, whether it's like in the gym, boxing.
I'll take like 5-10 minutes.
Or just taking 5-10 minutes a day to be silent and just clear your mind.
Exactly.
I think that's something that is so important, especially for kids our age. Or people our age, I should say. So we're not really kids anymore.
You ever done the float tank?
No, I need to. The sensory deprivation.
There's one in Venice. 2-hour clips, $40 an hour. $40 for 2 hours.
I'm claustrophobic though, doesn't that?
Yeah, bro. That's what everyone says. But you gotta beat that.
I know.
You're not really.
It's a mental game.
You gotta beat that thing.
Yeah.
Because it's bro. You just literally sit there like. Because you sit there and what it does, it takes away all your senses. So it's like you're floating in water.
You
can't see your hand right here. Like you can't. There's no.
I don't know about all that for me. That's kind of sketchy to me.
I feel that. But I feel that it's been so beneficial, bro. Like
you do it often?
Because I try to do it once a quarter, so like 4 times a year, pretty much. So you just sitting there and like you'll see so many things come into your head that you're like why do I? Because day to day wise, you get so stimulated. Like when you touch this table, you're like, oh, this is hard. Like you just think something that takes away from your present thoughts. You
Absolutely.
know? And so like when you're just sitting in there alone, it's like do I really think that? Like, do I really care about this?
You're floating in water. You can't see anything. You're floating,
like, and so there's the water's there's a bunch of salt in it, so you float. Like, you don't worry about sinking. Like, you don't, and it's like the tension in the water is like you don't even feel the water, so you're literally just sitting there, no senses. That's why it's called sense.
No, that's something I definitely need to try.
You should try, bro. It's great.
I'll look into that.
Because you just see thoughts coming through your head that you're like. Why do I think that? Like, is that my thought? You know, because a lot of the thoughts we have aren't even our thoughts, man. Yeah. It's like we're so blasted with information 98% of the day on your phone.
I know.
Music, radio. Like.
And something that I like use Headspace. You know that app? That's a good way to control. Like, if you're like trying to start out and meditating, it's a good way to kind of collect your thoughts, and it gives you kind of a format on how to go about it. But even my friend Chase, shout out Chase Coleman, he told the man, he told me, you know, like the best way to meditate, and this was before I started using the app, is to like, and this is a very common thing when coming to meditating, is like you see the thoughts in your head and you look at them as if they're clouds and you watch them pass by, and what that'll do is if you see a cloud, you're not perseverating on that thought that's in that either that dark cloud or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're acknowledging it and you're letting it pass by, and then eventually the clear clouds will come with no thoughts, with no negativity, and that helps you. Like I said, it helps you ground yourself and be like, all right, like I don't need to stagnate on the negative shit that's in my life, the negative thoughts that I'm thinking, or what I could be doing better. Mm-hmm. And if you spend 80% of your day, and we all do, even if it's subconscious, the negative shit that's in your life, and the things that you think you could be doing more of, if that's in your head, it's taking away from the possibilities you have to actually excel and succeed. You just have to see that shit, watch them like clouds, negative thoughts, whatever, and let them go by. And then soon enough, the sky will be clear, and that clear sky will act as, you know, blissfulness. Mm-hmm. Right? Like it just will. Yeah. And then you'll be able to collect yourself and then go on from there and attack whatever the day has for you.
Exactly. Because you'll be fully present.
You have to.
You'll be fully present. There's something to be said for taking a peek at how far you've come. Yeah. Like in certain areas of your life. There's something to be said for really like visualizing yourself in the future. But like majority of the time you gotta be in that present moment.
100%. I still think vision boards and like visualize. Like I have like back in high school, this is the first time I ever fucked with a secret, and like I know like that has like also a negative stigma on it. Negative stigma for sure. And sure, like it doesn't work for everyone, but if you like say you have like there were multiple, I'm not gonna name any names, but there were multiple experiences where it seemed like in high school, I'll say, that there was someone that I really had a crush on, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, wow, like I really like I have no connections to them, like I don't really know how I would meet them, whatever, and then. And And just having that person, and this isn't a weird thing, but just having that person in the back of your head and like thinking of like what it would be like to like take him out on a date or go to dinner with them or whatever.
Bro,
and then 6 months comes along and I'm like, I'm with her. And like I'm at dinner with her, or I'm dating her, or like, and it'd be like, wow, like this is a girl I manifested. You know, and I'm just using the girl thing because that in high school, like what else was I gonna what else was I gonna manifest? I was gonna manifest, females that I had crushes on, and it worked like on 3 different occasions with girls that with girls that no, I'm saying these are girls that like I really was like, yeah, she's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's happened with USC. I manifested that my whole high school career. I was thinking about what I could do to get into USC and how I could see myself in that position, see myself in classrooms, see myself walking on the campus, see myself being assimilated into a fraternity, and it actually comes true if you can visualize that. I mean, not in every single case, but like if you can apply that to your daily life, the boundaries are endless, you know?
I mean, bro, like that's one of the biggest things in my life that I don't really talk about because it's like there's that stigma around it where it's like, oh yeah, law of attraction, 100%, blah, 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 blah. But the thing I will say about that too, it's like if you think of something negatively,
it attracts that too.
That comes, you know, like if you really don't believe in something, like that's coming too, man. Like it's what you really feel, you know? In my life, like I've had times where I got something I really wanted and got something I really didn't want. Yeah.
You know, it's like I know. And you attracted that.
Hey man. Yeah.
And there are gonna be some people watching this podcast that are like, fuck you guys. This shit is stupid.
But like this is how I feel. Like
but I've seen it to trial and error. You know? Like if you manifest negative energy, it's gonna come.
And that makes, I'm sure I can only speak for myself, but that makes me so much more confident in it.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't really care what people are saying about
no,
that.
exactly.
Like to me it's true.
And that goes back to what we were talking about before. It's like once you get over this hump of not giving a fuck what people think about you, and like taking that judgment and pushing it down on the list of what's important in your life, you'll feel so much happier. Because if you're doing shit to make your peers or your enemies like be like, oh damn, like I should still be friends with him, or damn, like he's doing something I'm not. Like if you do things for other people, I'm saying like in selfish ways, like I'm gonna do this just so I can say fuck you to him. Yeah, you're not even gonna be happy when you're at that place.
No, you won't.
You have to do it for yourself. Actually. Exactly. You'll be get there and you'll be depressed as fuck. Yeah, you know. Yeah, and that's a huge thing. Is like. Even if it's subconscious, like we do things in order to impress people, or to even if it's your parents, like if they want you to do a certain thing and you're really miserable and you're trying to do that thing, then once you get there, you're like, all right, like I appeased my parents, but I at this time I'm still depressed. Like, and like I don't want to be here. Am I happy? Yeah. And that goes back to like what really matters. And I think it's like day-to-day, minute-to-minute happiness, you know? Yeah. And that, you know what I'm saying? Like we're all, like I said before, we're all going to die and not to get depressing again.
I'm getting more whiskey.
Yeah. Pull out the whiskey. And so that's when it comes, that's when you have to understand, like you just have to do shit that makes you happy.
Have to.
You know?
The biggest thing in your life.
You can't falsify what you think should make you happy.
So what does that look like for you? Like real happiness, real bliss. What's that for you? Are you still trying to figure? You good? You want some more whiskey?
I'm straight on this. Thank you.
He's babysitting.
No, this is my second full glass. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's take it one day at a time. Mm-hmm. You know, like I think getting into a good routine of habits will help attain happiness. If you don't let those days where you feel off bring you down and submerge you into like a very vulnerable. I mean, being vulnerable is great in so many ways, but like you don't want to let your bad days control your life, because everyone wakes up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes. And if you don't keep consistently putting those habits into reality by doing them, even when you don't feel like doing them, whether it's going to the gym, meditating, you know, texting someone, going on a run, whatever it may be, like that's the type of stuff that gets you in the groove, gets you in the zone of things, you know? Yeah. Like even when you, like before I just got back from Asia, as you know, I went to Thailand. It was like a graduation thing. And before that, I was in the zone. I was waking up at 7 a.m. every day. I should be waking up at 6 a.m. Should you wake up at 6 a.m.?
6:30.
6:30.
Right around ballpark.
I'll get there someday. But like waking up like 7 a.m., going to the gym, and then hitting my acting classes or whatever I'm doing that single day, doing some work. I went to Asia and I came back, and probably a lot of it was jet lag or whatever, and I was just like in a slump. And this was 2 weeks ago. I was in a slump, bro. Mm-hmm. And like I couldn't. My mind was hazy. I was like, what am I doing? I need to figure out what like I need to make goals. I need to do this shit. And I felt so overwhelmed. And that's something that we all feel is a burdening sensation of being overwhelmed. And if you just kind of stick through it and like let that run your feelings and your emotions and your tasks that you need to complete for that day, then it's going to perpetuate depression and shit like that. So like if you have to realize it and then be like, all right, what can I do to get out of this slump? And then eventually if you keep your habits, like you'll come out of that haze.
I agree,
and that's super important.
100%. To me, it's like filling the white space. Because for me, when I have too much time on my hands, I'm like what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life?
I need to be doing something.
I need to be doing, like, for me, it's all about taking steps forward, no matter how small. Like, even if it's like, I like fucking starting a podcast. Like, I'm like,
I know, and I commend you so much for that. Honestly,
I appreciate you, bro.
I think that creative outlet is so important.
It's so important.
It's like whether it be starting a podcast or like I'm doing, like going to acting classes, taking a risk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that is something that's so important. And then when I saw you first post, was your first podcast was with Nick?
Khalil.
It was with Khalil. And shout out Khalil, love you, bro. and yeah, cheers to you, bro.
Cheers, Khalil.
It's so commendable because you're taking, there'll be people that'll be like, why is he doing a podcast? Why,
bro, yeah,
there's so many, and it's so cliche, but there's so many haters that are like, yo, if you're doing like, whatever you're doing, if you're doing something out of your comfort zone, there's gonna be people that are chirping like, why is he doing that, whatever. But when the first moment I saw that, and the first time I saw that, I was so proud, and I was like, yo, this is really sick.
Yeah,
you're taking a leap forward, and you're doing something that like people are scared to do. And I think getting out of your comfort zones is something that we all need to practice every single day.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you're going to be comfortable, and you're not ever going to get to that point of success that you want to reach.
Yeah.
And like I talked about before, like that comes with a stigma of like podcasts are for people that like, you only should be interviewing like CEOs and like people that are really stunting on everyone else. And like as true as that might be, there's a lot of value you can get from peer-to-peer interactions.
So much value.
And like you learn, I'm learning shit from you, you learn shit from me, and that's how we grow now. And when I was telling people that I was going on my buddy's podcast, they're like, oh, why? Like, what are you going to talk about?
I hate that
like,
shit.
What? Like, what are you going to talk about? Like, what have you done? What have you done that's so significant?
Yeah. And
that's the type of poisonous thought process that really people that are inhabiting people's brains.
Yeah, 100%. And it's easy to say that.
It's easy to say that.
It's really easy to hate.
Who are you? Oh, you're not Gary Vee, so you can't jump on a podcast.
Yeah.
Just because you haven't invested in Uber or Snapchat, like what are you doing? And like that's another stigmatized thing that we need to get over. Like I said, I was my minor at USC was like business entrepreneurship, and it was my favorite shit ever because every single week in all my classes throughout my 4 years there would be like a new CEO or entrepreneur, whether it be Scooter Braun, Kobe Bryant, just a plethora of people that came in and spoke to us. Gary Vee, actually, funny enough, the legend, the social media legend.
He's a legend. For sure.
And like, there's a lot of value to get from them because they've started companies, they've made themselves, into something super successful or what we deem as successful. But like, a lot of the most intriguing and valuable parts of those interviews was when the students would ask questions.
Yeah.
And the answers would be like, yo, like, don't think too much. Just do you and find your passion and work your ass off. And that's pretty much the consistent advice that would be spread apart all these different crazy successful people interviews. It's like, just do it.
Yeah, just go.
There's not a single recipe that you can implement in your daily life to get to success.
No.
A lot of luck is in there.
So much luck.
It's
different for everybody.
It's different for everyone. And so I think that there's a lot of value in peer-to-peer interactions and learning from your friend. I've learned some of the most valuable things in my life from my friends. you know, and people that are my age, you know, it does, you don't necessarily need to be talking or interviewing people that are, you know, 50 and have sold 3 companies in order to have them give you any value in your life and give you direction, you know?
No, I mean, that's kind of why I started it, bro. Cause like I have so many good conversations with my friends, people my age, and I'm going to interview people that are older too. And,
absolutely.
And shit, you know, like I don't discriminate.
No. Yeah.
But like, and I just get so much value. Like if I'm like, damn, like if I could listen to that back, like I need that, you know, like I need to hear that again. Yeah. It's like, that's why I just kind of like said, fuck it. And like, here we are.
I mean, you're learning.
We're all learning so much, like in so many different areas, and like, but I love it too. You know? And like, that's the biggest thing for me. Yeah. Like you gotta love what you're doing. And then, cause then it's easier to tune out the, like, what the fuck is he doing? Like
the negativity.
Yeah. It's just so much easier to tune it out if you're really like passionate about something.
I agree 100%.
Going forward with something, just going forward with your life. Yeah. It's helped me in like other areas, like relationships, like, you know, like I feel like I know you on a deeper level already. Well,
bro. It's making, I mean, if at the very least it's making you more inquisitive, right? Like you're asking people questions and you're getting to know them on a. And just because there's a camera and microphones in here doesn't mean you can't take this into your everyday life.
No, bro.
You know,
help me just looking people in the eye too. Like
absolutely,
just little things, you know. And I commend you for coming on too, because like a lot of people have been like, oh, like I don't really have anything to say. I'm like, I know my man Nassif has something to say. Like,
even if people don't want to hear it, or even if people are like, yo, what credibility does he have to tell me that? Like, I'm not telling anyone this is how they should live. I'm just saying like this is what has helped me become happier and become like. Exactly. You know, like
that's what it's all about.
Like I don't need to go out to the clubs every night to get. In LA, that's such a prominent thing in social life. I don't need to go out to the clubs every night to get like a sense of stimulation. No. Like I've been staying in playing Codenames every.
What is that?
Codenames is the best board game. You guys should all get Codenames. Codenames is the best, most stimulating board game I've ever played. Shout out to Charlie Hall for showing me what it is. Oh my God. It's a dope. We don't need to go into it, but it's a dope board game where you like make connections, and it's like it's like a game with words, and like it's just fun. I don't need to go booze all night and like you know, people watch like in order to get what I need. And like that's fun to go out with your friends and do that shit, but like especially in LA, you're exposed to that at such a young age. You know, I was going out when I was 16, 17.
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't. To the clubs?
Yeah.
You're sick, bro.
But at the end of the day, you form a lot of connections doing that, which is dope, you know, and sick, and can propel you and open up a lot of different doors. But like, I feel like there's a lot of pressure for people that don't even fuck with that. Like just to like, yo, you're in LA, like it's Friday night, you better go out and like drink with all your friends and like figure it the fuck out and get into this place and get into that place. And I'm more of like the low key type. Like I like staying. I'm like an introvert. Like I don't. Socializing takes a lot out of me. Yeah. And as much as it can bring positivity and opportunity into your life, like it takes a lot for me to go out and just like put myself out there. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting concept.
I agree, and that's been the biggest thing for me to get over. It's like it's Friday, and I really don't want to like go do anything. Like why do I feel all this pressure to like get into this fucking club? Like you know, it's like just taking a deep look, like why do I want to, like I'd rather just smoke a cigar and call it a night.
You're the cigar don.
Bro, I love cigars. Oh my gosh, shout out to Hollywood Smoke right down in Venice. That's
Hollywood
my
Smoke
spot, bro. You got to come in there one of these days.
Is that where you get all your cigars?
You smoke in there. My guy Greg running the shop.
The last couple times I smoked a cigar, I got severely nauseated.
You can't inhale, bro.
I know that everyone says that, but like it's easier said than done.
Yeah, the first one I had fucked me up.
Did it? You're all green in the face and like.
Yeah, it hurt me for sure.
Yeah. No, but cigar smoking is cool.
Cigar and some scotch.
Yeah, cigar and some scotch, 100%.
I'm telling you, bro. But yeah, like that's like just getting over that, and I'm like once I got over that, I'm just so much happier.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure
I'm just doing shit I want to. Like you get to get up early, like go on a run. Like
getting up early is so underrated.
So underrated.
It's like I said, since I've been back from Asia, I've been in a slump and I can barely wake up at 11 a.m.
But it's good to get out and see the world. Like don't knock yourself for going to Asia.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I don't know if people experience jet lag like I have recently, but like it fucked me up.
We tried to schedule this a couple times.
I know. We started scheduling like I'm not. My mental is not there right now. Yeah. Like I was in a weird spot. But yeah, waking up early, bro. Like waking up early and going on a run, or like even just making coffee and reading a newspaper, like that
Newspaper.
Shit is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Wall Street Journal or something. Yeah,
you haven't heard that in a minute.
Or you scroll on your news app on your phone, but like that offers you like some clarity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah, it gives you like a chance to just like not be like anxious, like fuck, like I woke up at 11 or 10, like I need to get on my, you know what I'm saying, like
bro, when I wake up that late, like
you're tripping. Yeah,
I'm so anxious, like I could have done this and this by now, and now I'm like just waking up, like now what do I like? I hate waking up late, bro. I can't wake up. Even when I get loaded and go out, like I can still wake up so early.
See, I can't. If I'm hungover, I can't get out of bed.
Really?
Yeah, I can't get out of bed. And that's probably a mental thing that I need to push through. But if I drink on a Friday night, I'm not getting out of bed till 1, 2, watching Netflix all day. That's why like it literally inhibits me.
Yeah.
Alcohol, as fun it can be, and you can communicate. I mean, you can have some No, but like the occasional, I'm talking about like binge drinking, which is super prominent in like our generation,
especially that fraternity house.
Yeah, shout out
to Lamb, dude.
Shout out to Lambda Chi, bro.
What a fucking time, though.
What a time. And that's the experience I wanted. You know, I wanted that college experience, and that was the perfect. And USC is like on a different wave now, and it's going a different direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is cool and everything, but like that fraternity, the connections we made, and the friends that we made, and the experiences that we had, are some stuff that. And I just recently saw that we're buying the Lambda Chi house.
We are officially now?
Yeah, officially. So we'll be able to go back there as alumni to tailgates and stuff, which is the best part of college.
Thank God.
Yeah.
God damn, bro.
Cheers to
the house, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Cheers to Lambda Chi.
But yeah, that was a fucking great time, bro.
I remember just walking in the halls, and you were always, even if I never told you, you're always so motivating because you're always doing something. Either you were going to the gym or you were doing homework or whatever it was. Like you were never
Appreciate that. Thanks, bro.
Like there's a lot of people in fraternity life that are just like they're just chilling, smoking weed all day, playing video games. Like they're not stimulated by anything. And you lived in my old room too. What was that? 107?
Yeah.
107.
Wait, 207?
207. And every time I passed by, I remember there was a week or two there where we were sincerely talking about going to Phuket in Thailand and doing one of those Muay Thai camps. Which would still be dope, but I have heard some of my friends that went there recently said it's very overwhelming and like kind of gross.
Really?
Yeah.
Like gross in what aspect?
Just like Cabo type, but like in Asia.
I don't know if I could do that.
Which might be a little overwhelming.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah, I looked into it a bit more. Wasn't really like diving, but yeah, we got to do something.
We have to do something like that. I want to get back into the gym like that. That's a therapeutic thing,
bro.
Like doing any type of martial arts is super therapeutic.
I know. I want to start jiu-jitsu too.
Jiu-jitsu.
Bro, you ever done an F45 class or like?
No.
There's this place down here. It's called Double Ops Functional Training. I'm plugging my people out there. Those are my people, bro.
Double Ops.
Like it's literally right down the street from here. So I just go from work and then straight to the class. It's 45 minutes. It's just like working your fucking ass off.
You throwing up by the end of it?
I mean, if you come in there cold, like it might be pretty ugly.
I threw up for the first like week and a half when I started doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It was like tough.
Jiu-jitsu's tough. I've never done it, but
it's fun and it's very strategic.
It's so humbling too.
It's calculated. It's humbling. You get thrown.
I need some of that.
But the calculation of like is so like you have your hand right here and you're gonna want to go for an arm bar. So you have to make sure that move that you do to get them in that arm bar is at the right time.
Crisp.
And the right, crisp.
It's a chess match.
Yeah, it's a chess match.
Yeah. Who could choke?
I've been getting into chess too a lot lately.
Have you really?
Yeah, I love chess.
Damn, I don't have the patience for that.
It's fun, bro. You have to if you sit there and you try and
I got to give it some time.
I don't have any like strategy yet.
Yeah.
I'm just in there like I know the move, so I'm trying to figure out. But it's like life. You think like 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure.
And you have to in order to like really succeed and shit. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So post grad, man, like what are your plans?
Taking risks, bro.
Taking risks. I love it. I'm
risks.
on board with that.
Post grad, now or never. I've always loved film My parents have been in the industry, in the entertainment industry, and I've always loved film and television, and that's the one time that I like, that's my art, you know, like when I see people portraying a character like going through an inner conflict on TV or film on the big screen, like I'm moved by that. And I've always wanted, you know, when you used to leave like superhero movies like in middle school at the theater and you felt like you were a superhero. I
still love superhero movies.
Yeah, right. Shout out Avengers, they've made $10 trillion.
Yeah, they're racking out for sure.
But like that, so I wanted to get my degree and I wanted to do that thing and I wanted to do it for my mom and do it for my family and shit. But like that, I knew that after college I wanted to pursue acting. So and I was always turned off by it because like I said, I was so close to it. My mom's an agent, my dad's a producer, and like I used to be like, yo, like everyone comes to LA to act and like they're trying to make that step and like I get it and like it's still a thing. Yeah. But now I commend it because there's so much sacrifice that goes into that. And I've been in an acting class for like 3-4 months and it's hard. It is really hard, but like it's something that I wanted to commit to for a full year. It's either now or never. Yeah. You know, like before, like
taking risks.
Yeah, I'm taking and I think taking risks is the biggest thing. Like my favorite actor is Brad Pitt. And he dropped out of Mizzou. He went to University of Missouri in like the last 3 weeks before he was gonna graduate, and drove out to LA, and then like took a bunch of different odd jobs, and was just like, I want to do this, and like went to a bunch of auditions, and then became Brad Pitt, who I think is one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood. Side note, he's a stud though. Everyone who knows me knows how much I fuck with Brad Pitt. Meet Joe Black is my favorite film of all time. If you guys haven't seen that, watch it.
Isn't he your Instagram profile picture?
Yeah, he's my Instagram profile picture. Yeah.
Is that the kind of roles you see yourself playing?
I mean, he's played the dopest roles in the world. From Meet Joe Black to Troy to California with the K.
So good in Troy.
To Legends of the Fall, to Seven, to Benjamin Button, which he should have won the Academy Award for. He's a psycho.
I need some suggestions.
He gets. Oh, I can give you movies. I'm a movie buff. I think he gets underappreciated because of how fucking good looking that dude is. He's like a beautiful dude. You know what I'm saying?
He's very handsome.
But that like and so that kind of works to his disadvantage because like his acting performances are insane. But he was my inspiration to like, yo, like you should like it's never too late. And there's so many good actors that I really look up to that started when they were 6. And I'm like, how could I ever get like he has 10, 15 years on me. But then, like, when I hear a story like Brad Pitt, who moved out here when he was 21, 22, and became my favorite actor of all time, like, it's something that I can do. And, like, I'm going to do it as much as I can for a year and put myself out there and jump outside my comfort zone, which is one of the most important things we can do as young men and women, is to put yourself outside of your comfort zone and really figure it out. A lot of trials and tribulations, failing a bunch. I think that's something that is super important, you know? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm in acting class 3 times a week and like really trying to figure it out and see if like this is something I can do. Cause all my main inspirations are for some reason, mostly acters.
And
like
you're just drawn to that.
Yeah. I'm just drawn to it. And so like, I'm like, might as well. If I fail, I fail. And I think that's another thing about podcasts is like people come on podcasts and talk about all their successes, but like, failing in the process is a big part of self-growth and success. Like I want to be able to look back on this when I'm 5, 10, 15 years from now and be like, wow, like this, like I could see it in his eyes, you know, I could see it in the conversation. I could see it in the conversation that like and now look where I am, you know, and be able to take from that and feel proud, you know.
100%. And that's the kind of shit that I feed off too, bro. Like hearing you talk about it, because it's like it's not an easy thing to go after. And like people are always chiming in like, oh, he's trying to act, he's in LA. But like when you're going after something like that and you're like, fuck it, like I don't care what anybody has to say, like I'm gonna do this because I want to do it and I'm gonna give it my best shot, and if I fail, I fail.
100%.
And it's like, but that's the way to live your life. Yeah. Because like I don't want to look back when I'm 80 and been like, full of regrets. I should have tried to act. Like, why didn't I just try to act? It doesn't even matter.
Why didn't I start that podcast?
Like, why didn't I? Like, I wanted to start a podcast when I was 23. Like, why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
Like, who would have cared? Like,
who cares who would have cared?
Exactly.
Who the fuck cares what other people think?
At the end of the day, man, it's like,
if it doesn't make you happy, then something's if you're doing something that you're like you really want to do, but you were scared of people's opinions on you, then you're wasting life.
You're just wasting this.
You're wasting
beautiful fucking gift of life.
And like something that someone always tells me, I forget who. Sorry about that, but someone always like it's like a 2 billion to 1 chance that you're born. Yeah. Like the sperm, like there's like 2 billion of them that meet the egg or whatever.
Yeah.
And that to me is one of the craziest things ever because again, Gary Vee talks about that. I keep quoting Gary Vee because he is a social media phenomenon, and he's really funny. And a lot of my friends, watch his videos and like
he's got good content. Like
he's
great to consume.
What I will say is that he is a highly effective communicator. He knows how to speak. He knows how to articulate what everyone else is thinking. He knows how to connect with his viewers. He's really good at creating content and honing in on a specific demographic and what their wants and needs are when it comes to scrolling on Instagram. And whether or not I know if he really knows how to like start a company from the ground up, his image and his social media presence is all that matters. Yeah. Because he is like an all-time influencer. I look at him as like a top 5 influencer. Yeah. Whether like
he's a real ass influencer.
Yeah, and I think that trumps his business credibility. Yeah. Whether or not he took his wine library or whatever that company was from $6 to $60 million and didn't take any money out of it. Yeah. For whatever reason, I still think that the way he communicates with his followers is insanely intelligent, and he connects with people and motivates people at a very high level. And I think he's one of the biggest influencers in the world for that fact that he can through content, through 30-second clips, tell you what you want to hear and motivate you and get you off your ass. Yeah. Whether or not he knows exactly if you're like him, he's like fuck your parents, like drop out of high school, move out, like fuck your parents, like and like that's I get that, but like at the same time, like I think he's a very highly charismatic person.
100%. You can't argue that. Yeah.
And I think charisma is one of the biggest things when it comes to acquiring fame or fortune. Is like you have to be charismatic. Unless you're a numbers guy that's just a genius. But he's so charismatic. He has some of the same attributes that like, some of the biggest world leaders have ever had. Being well spoken, being very articulate, knowing how to connect with your fan base or the market that you're communicating with. Yeah, the audience. But yeah, I think he's one of the most interesting things in social media today.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's on that shit, bro. He's just like this weird mix of like aggressive, but like just speaks the truth. Like I don't know.
But everyone's like, everyone knows what he's gonna say already. That's
the craziest part.
Like everyone, and they're like, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Like I need to do that in my life. Yeah. Like yeah, you do, but like I'm just gonna really like get in your shit and tell you how not how to do it, but like what you should do, and like just stick with your gut and like just like go after it. Yeah,
100%. Like
and so like
charisma and courage, bro.
Yeah, charisma and courage.
Like
those are two of the biggest things probably that you can put into your arsenal of things that you want to accomplish, or at least like try and focus on in everyday life, or having charisma and like putting yourself out there and connecting with people and being courageous about it. Because if you're not courageous, then you're going to hit a wall. You have to keep pushing through and like
or you'll just never get there.
You'll never get there
if you're never really challenging yourself. You're never really like putting yourself out there, putting your neck on the line, like for people to hate, like then you're not gonna get there, man. Like it's just the reality of it.
Yeah, scared of what people. Like, it's a theme that we keep coming back to is like really caring about what people think about you, and that's like so synonymous with social media and how we're all on social media. Is like what picture, video can I post that will get the most likes, get the most comments. That's a parallel with like I don't want to take a chance because if I fail, then what are they going to think about me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's some of the most poisonous thing that you can, let seep into your brain, because if you do that, you're going to miss out on so many ventures,
100%, bro. Like that negative self-talk is crippling.
100%.
You read any Mark Manson? Like
no, but
I'm not giving a fuck. Book?
So like I'm gonna be honest, I'm a hater only because I haven't read any of Mark Manson, but I so this is me being judgmental. I'm judging him. No, I'm not judging him at all. He's a genius. He's a marketing genius. I think the cover of his book is what made him do $100 million in sales or whatever he's done. But like the fact of how social Instagrammable that cover of that book is, and like how many times I've seen it on social media,
that has you mad.
It just has me like I don't really want to purchase it.
Nah, I read. Let me tell you what I took.
I need to though.
I read his
I'll
book
read it
before that, and then I read this book, and like there's one thing he talks about is a negative feedback loop, where it's like you like know you shouldn't think a certain way, but then you do, and then you beat yourself up for thinking that way, and then it's just like this endless cycle of you beating yourself up. You know what I mean? Like if I like say I like don't really believe myself in, like say I want to go to the NBA, and I'm like oh like fuck like I don't think I'm that good, and then I'm like no like I shouldn't think like that. Like, why are you thinking like that? And then you just beat yourself up even more, and it's like that negative feedback loop is just crippling.
Yeah. That's,
I see myself having that sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah. 100%.
When it comes to like what?
When it comes to like, I mean, we're talking about high school, like some chicks, like I'd be like, oh, like I don't think she really likes me. And then I'll be like, no, you can't.
And
think
now
like
I don't want
that.
to talk to a girl
Like,
for the
now
next.
You can't think like that. And then I'm like, why are you thinking like that? Like you're stupid for thinking like that. And it's just like this crazy cycle that I see myself getting into. But it doesn't sound like you get into that, which is good.
Oh no, man! I think that's something that everyone gets into is questioning whether or not you're doing what you should be doing.
Yeah,
that's something that's like very, very prevalent, and I think everyone that I know is like, even if they don't want to admit it, like everyone's questioning what the fuck they're doing, especially like if you're in such a, like we were talking about before, like if you're in such a structured lifestyle. And the way that American education system like it is K through 12 or K through 13, 14, 15, 16, if you're going through college, is so structured and you have all these assignments and all these exams that you need to do. And then once that stops, everyone's like, all right, what now? There's just a select few people that, and I envy musicians because like going to college with someone like Saul was, shout out to Saul. He's been playing bass and like producing music for so many years or whatever. And like him, other frat members like Felly and Gyps, like they know that music, regardless, and I personally believe that they'll all be huge stars, and Felly and Gyps already have like a crazy following. They're really going after the music shit, and they've succeeded, and as far as I'm concerned, like in so many ways. But like they know what they're supposed to be on this earth for, and that's making music. And that's like doing what they love most, whether or not they make $1 million or 10 million or 100,000 or $50,000 a year. They're happy. And so I've always told Saul that is like, I envy you. Like you don't give, like, what you want to do. You know what you're going to do. Yeah. And like, there's so many people that are trying to find their passion and trying to understand what it is in this world they should do. And I see that as like some of the most interesting aspects of all my peers' lives. Like, do you really want to do real estate? Do you really want to do insurance? Do you really want to do finance? But like at the end of the day, like we have to because it pays the bills and whatnot. But like figuring out your passion is a very cryptic thing. No one, except for like musicians and artists and like actors and like like someone that was born with an innate like passion, essentially, like it's hard to come across like what exactly you should be doing, and that's an anxiety that is in perpetuity in all of our friends' lives, because no one really knows what they want to do until they're doing it, or until they've done this, that, and the other thing, and then they finally arrive at what they should be doing. And like finding your passion is something that I don't think anyone has the answer to unless you know what it is from an early age, or you stumble into it. But I think if you just trust the process and like understand that eventually you'll you'll arrive at the place where you know you should be. When that moment occurs, you'll understand that everything that has happened up until that point led to where you are today. You know, and that's such a big thing.
100%. And you got to keep trying new shit too.
Yeah.
Like you got to keep taking steps forward. You got to keep growing as a person, and
being dynamic
keep looking
is essential.
for it. Yeah, because you can't just sit there and feel sorry for yourself. You know that, like that's another dangerous attitude.
Even if it's me coming on this podcast, like I said, I've never been on a podcast before. So even if it's me coming on this podcast and just communicating with one of my boys, and like having a discussion of like a lot of the shit that I like talking about, and things that are important to me, like that can open up a door within itself. I can go home tonight and be like, wow, like something I really like discuss is like not leaving my thought process, and is like is staying in my vision, and then maybe I should, you know, further explore this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, like it can be as simple as jumping on a podcast, or like just meeting that person that was given to you by fate. You know, like there's so many different ways that you can arrive at like, this is what I should have been doing. That's why I think the coolest thing is like something that all these entrepreneurs that I've had the pleasure of listening to, whether at USC or at a job or whatever, like a lot of their beginnings come from like, I just happen to be at this place at this time and see him talking, or like have this communication or have this interaction, and it's set me on the trajectory of where I need to be, and now I'm here. And it's because of that one instance that like I connected with this person, or I spoke to this person, that put me on the path to like where I am today. And I think that's super valuable information. Is like you can never anticipate exactly what's going to set you on your way. You know?
Luck's a big part of it, man.
Yeah.
Luck, but you make your own luck at some point too.
You do make your own luck, but you know, it goes back to like Malcolm Gladwell and his book Outliers. It's
such a great book.
Such a great book.
I love that.
It's a good starter book for all like wannabe entrepreneurs and like people that are just curious about like how to make shit happen. I think the 10,000 hour mark is something very valuable. Like you have to do something for 10,000 hours in order to be an expert at it. And I think that's a huge thing. And I think people like bail before 10,000 hours just because you're not seeing the results you wanted. Yeah. But like peaks and valleys, right? Like so many valleys, so many peaks. And like to get to that place, I think I have, like I said, I haven't gotten to the place where I want to be by any means. Just graduated college, trying to figure it out, taking risks, surrounding myself with positive people, like just going after it. But I know like in 5, 10, 15 years from now, when I look back, like I'll be able to look back at the peaks and valleys that I went through and be like, all right, if I had quit in this valley in the 7th hour, or the 7th day or 7th month of this valley, I wouldn't have made it to the peak.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know?
I love that.
Which is insane.
I've never heard it put like that. Yeah. That's true though.
So like you 10,000 hours is a lot. I think it comes down to something like 7 years.
That's Malcolm Gladwell's whole thing. You gotta put 10,000 hours of work in.
Yeah,
to
10,000 hours
of something.
To be an expert.
Yeah.
And how like where you're born, who you surround yourself with, the timing, and how much luck plays into it is like a recipe for success. That's why like I like listening to really successful people, and I think there's a lot of value in it, but at the same time there's so much luck that plays into like really fucking being that mogul, or being that superstar actor, or being that that business innovator.
100%,
you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many components, and we're not going to really know until we get to that point.
Exactly.
And so, you know, if we're dedicated enough, we'll all arrive at that destination. You know?
Definitely. I believe that. And just fail enough times, bro.
Yeah.
100%. All right. So we got to start wrapping up.
Okay.
It's been a damn hour, bro. Shit's flown by.
Has it been? Jesus Christ.
It's been an hour.
Sorry if I rambled on.
No, I love it. That's why I started this shit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Last question.
Okay.
So, like, where do you see yourself being, like, blissfully happy, like, successful? Like, not even maybe, like, what does that, like, happiness look like for you down the road 10, 20 years?
I don't think I'll know until I get there.
Okay.
I think if I take it one day at a time, and I focus on me being present and really admiring the little triumphs, that like it'll all add up to something someday. I think being free in a lot of different ways, like you can be financially free, sure, but like being free within yourself and not holding yourself to certain expectations and being like, yo, like I need to do this in order to be happy. I need to, like, setting those bars.
Yeah.
I think are detrimental to your self-growth. I think if you like, yo, I want to achieve this goal, that's something that motivates you on an everyday basis. But like, in order to be happy, I think you just need to realize how short life is.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you need to realize how short life is. And if you waste any time in the process and the journey, and you get caught up in like what I should be doing or what my peers are doing or how far ahead they are or how far I feel behind them, that's going to add to negativity and like a very vicious cycle. I think if you just, what I see being happy is just like being somewhere where I'm truly content with the little things.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously I want to reach like a point in my life where in my career I want to be the man and I want to like, you know, run a company or be on the big screen and like motivate and inspire others. Mm-hmm. I think if you can make an imprint like that lasts longer than your life on this earth, than your time span on this earth, then like everything, even if it's like little things, like even if it's affecting little people in your lives, everyday like feelings and everyday like in everyday interactions is what I'm trying to say. In everyday interactions, if you can change someone's life or you can add a little bit of happiness to their life in that 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes that you're with them, like that'll end up coming back to you. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And like not doing it out of selfishness and be like, yo, if I'm like nice to this person, maybe I'll get, you know, someone really nice to me back.
That's the wrong reason to do it.
That's the wrong way to do it. But being like accepting all the little things that really add to your daily happiness will in the end culminate into something that's way bigger. And then you're like, if you do simple things that make you happy and make people around you happy and spread positivity, I think in the end, like it all makes sense and everything will fall in line. As far as like as things go that I want, like, yeah, I would love to be like a movie star. I would love to like have my own business. You know, I'd love to like inspire people every day.
Yeah.
And so I think it starts with like doing things like this, you know, and like being able to change someone's daily trajectory in the smallest way possible. So thank you for having me.
My man, thanks for coming, dog. You killed this shit.
I hope I didn't talk too much.
Nah, I loved it. We'll get you on again.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, bro. Much love.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.